dun. Dun, 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 dun.
It's like when the police pull you over, everything you say
can and will
be used against you. Why is it that they get to lie to you, but you can't lie to them? I think that's unfair.
That's a question.
Right? I feel like it should be fair play.
I'm with you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
why
lying,
not?
Yeah, I mean, lying is just bad in general.
Right.
But if you get to lie to me, why can't I lie to you?
It's just the law of reciprocity.
Exactly, right? So if you pull me over, right? So if you pull me over, and I say, you say, well, were you speeding? And I say no. I should just be able to go home. If in fact,
No, that's how you get tested.
Right.
They'd be like, oh, so you weren't? You were 25 over. You weren't speeding. Get out the car. Right. You must be under the influence of something.
The spirit of Jesus. Under the influence of the Holy Ghost.
And like, oh, it's one of those.
Could you imagine if the cop pulled you over? Like, could you imagine all of a sudden you just started shouting?
I'm sure some church mother at some point in time has done that. I am almost certain.
Oh my God.
I'm almost certain of it.
Oh my God. Like they pull you over, you're like, oh,
oh yes, God. He shot got out of the seat.
It just hit the cop in the forehead. I rebuke you, Satan. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
The devil thought he had me.
All right.
And you won't say.
But God.
Oh, God. This is so much wrong.
I am sure of it.
Oh, my goodness.
100% certain of it.
Oh, my God. He come back
100%.
Come back with a ticket. No, sir. Not today.
I don't know what this is. I reject that.
Hey!
In Jesus, I reject that right now.
Because you know the devil is a liar.
Jesus paid it all for me. That doesn't belong to me. Put it under the blood. Mm-hmm. Officer, you have a good, blessed day. Ma'am, if you do not take this ticket, I'm going to have to put you under arrest. I'm arrested by the Spirit.
Come on. Come on.
Hey, glory. Play if you want.
You don't have the authority.
Your authority is not recognized here, sir.
You don't have
Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's.
That's it.
Hey, glory.
That's it. As long as y'all know that's how that would go.
Yo.
First time saying this, and I apologize. Usually I just say welcome.
That's true.
And it's been a long time since I said welcome because
you were fired.
Because I was fired unjustly. Mm-hmm. I had to put in a complaint with the manager. And then I got sent away.
In 3, 2.
As you can see, there's still egregious with the producer. Clearly, I'm not anyone, y'all, because I got fired. I got fired from the show. Y'all, how I get fired from my own show? My name is in the credits. It was still in the credits, y'all. Y'all got...
Dang.
I missed y'all. I just want to let y'all know this. I had missed y'all. I missed y'all.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So all I wanna do is just spread the good news about it. Wait, ooh, catch a vibe with it right now. Ooh, that's a vibe, feel it right now. Ooh, that's the jam. All I wanna do is just spread the good news about it. Ooh, that's the
Welcome to the podcast, partially sponsored from our new studio, the Beauty Hub Salon and Content Studio. Look at that. Yes. See, the executive producer didn't think I was going to get that right.
Mm-hmm. The producer or the executive producer?
The producer, my bad, the producer. The executive producer was all right. The executive producer is Jesus Christ. He knew he had my back. We should do a montage about what I've been doing.
That would be awesome.
You know what I mean?
That would be awesome.
You know, the things that I've been doing and
in the meantime.
Right. I'm pretty sure the folks would like to see.
I think I would like to see.
Like, what, like what has Jerrod been doing? You know, where has he been at for the last 25 episodes? Moving on.
Have you felt lonely without your co-host?
Yes.
You better talk about it.
I felt very lonely while there was a guest in front of me.
I sense sarcasm, but y'all married, so I'm gonna let y'all work that out.
Listen, Ant was here all of 5 minutes. She talked about how old I was.
In my defense, it wasn't that you were old. It was collectively that we were seasoned together.
She did say wait.
Thank you,
It was
Ed.
interesting because I was re-listening to the initial podcast, and that was the part that I left off on, was the whole how old he is.
Right.
And how oppressed he feels. Dejected. Ostracized. By those comments.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
There it is.
Y'all got kids. Y'all get that reference.
There it is.
Had that. All right, I ain't got nothing else to say. I love y'all. I ain't got nothing else to say.
You better do this podcast with intention.
With intention.
Oh my God.
That's what you better do.
With intention. Listen. Listen, y'all. I got with me here today brother Ant Patton. Ant is the millennial ministry leader at Bridgeway Community Church. As an elder millennial myself.
You better talk about it.
As an elder millennial myself. I'm excited to know what that is. Can you talk about it?
Yeah.
Let's go.
So leverage is, like you said, millennial. Yo, can I just say for just a moment?
Go for it.
That we had to fight for that.
Okay.
I just have to let it be known
Oh,
that we were in the ring. That is a win. Anyway, so leverage is a millennial ministry at Bridgeway. We focus on just pretty much three things. It's our, like, what we call our secret sauce. So we say it is the et ceteras: edification, transparency, and community. We feel like if we can do those three things at a high level, filled with passion, then we're going to be able to, like, build those bridges. We're going to be able to, like, bring people to Jesus.
absolutely.
We just want to inspire this generation for Christ, simply put.
Man. And we need to for this generation, for our generation, for the millennials specifically. As an elder millennial, maybe I'm getting a little cranky, I don't know. But looking at some of your other millennials out there as an elder millennial, sometimes I get a little disappointed, just a little bit, you know. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? Y'all not mowing the grass. You know, maybe I shouldn't be looking at y'all grass, but take care of your yard, you know. We're going to talk a little bit about that later, but planting seeds for now. We'll talk about it. We'll come back to it. Right now, I want to talk about Ant's brand. Let's talk about it. You got a lot of heart.
Yeah. So, so heart is, if I could make it super concise. So
Yes.
heart is the idea, if you spell it out, is, you have the H-E, and that's for God. And then the art, right?
Okay.
So it's really a brand that is focused on the Christian creative, not just like the Christian, like I'm a Christian rapper, but I also do workshops. I also like facilitate and do other things, right? Help people do graphic design.
Okay.
Do a whole bunch of different things. And what I started recognizing is, or what God started really impressing on me is the proof of God for us is that we are able to do what God is able to do, which is I can take an idea or a thought that is invisible, and then I can bring it in from an invisible place and bring it into a physical place. And like the fact that you are able to do that, like when people try to act like this whole concept of like God creating the world is like so foreign, it's like, dude, if we're made in the image of God, as the Bible says,
say it again,
then the proof of it is that you literally can create something out of thin air by just putting your will to it. So what Heart seeks to do is create a space for Christian creatives to thrive, creating a whole community. So imagine what it would look like if you have Christian videographers and Christian artists and Christian poets and Christian musicians and Christian visual artists and just all the arts, right?
Yeah.
But they're all connected. Because when you start doing this work, you recognize, oh, I know how to do this really well, but I have to teach myself. My passion is this thing, but I have to teach myself this thing, and this thing, just so I can be effective at doing what my passion really is.
Right.
But imagine what it looks like when you're in an ecosystem where you have all these people and they all really love Jesus too.
Right.
So now you're like the Church of Acts, just with arts.
Right. And you have like a community of folks that you can like go to. You can say, hey, look, I can do this. I can do this. Like, that's like almost like a
bartering system.
Exactly. You know, like there's so many centers where you can go in for business and you can like do business startups. You know, so that's almost essentially what you're talking about for a business startup. But imagine doing that for like in a Christian side.
Right.
Mindset. That's powerful.
Yeah.
What made you come up with that?
So the idea wasn't mine.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't really mine. When the idea first came to me, it was like actually really funny because I was working with a ministry at the time, and I was supposed to be doing some event, and what ended up happening is I used to get migraines really, really bad.
Okay.
So, make a long story short, I get this migraine. I can't go where everyone else is. So I'm literally in the house by myself. And I wake up and God, like my migraine's gone, and God starts giving me, like, I think it started with the logo first. And I'm like, make the logo. I see it. I'm like, okay. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And I'm listening. And he gives me some information. And then it's like, okay, migraine's back on. I'm back to sleep. This was like a 48 to 72 hour period of like migraine, here's what I need you to do. Migraine, here's what I need you to do. So he gives it to me in installments. And when it first came, I literally didn't have all that stuff I just was talking about. I really just thought it was like a Christian fashion brand.
Wow.
But I've been waiting. Like I've been intentionally waiting and listening. And as like my trajectory started changing and going into different places, God would be like, and this is also hard. And this is also hard.
Wow.
And so now it's gotten to this point where I can kind of see it and verify it a little bit more.
It sounds like you got like a spiritual mixtape.
Come on, somebody.
Had that digital download.
Yo, it was really crazy.
That's crazy.
I'm like, I'm just always grateful for how it has taken shape over the years, and I can see it in multiple ways. So
that's awesome. You mentioned that you rap. Okay, you know I'm gonna ask you for some bars.
You want them right now?
I mean,
I could give them to you. I mean, I'm just asking when is it appropriate?
I mean, if you got them, you might as well. I mean, America. I mean,
I don't. All right. Yeah. This isn't to shock and awe. This is just to give you a little insight to how I think.
Yeah.
Goodness, we all got our reasons. I couldn't fathom about rapping for Jesus. Like, what he need rappers for when he got preachers? All these years later now, I am a feature. Boy, this is God big. This the assignment. I didn't choose it. I was assigned it. I changed up the climate. Now they got to climb it. Whew. I'm not looking back. Pillars of salt, y'all built for that. Gave me the reasons I couldn't rap. Now look at how the recipe cooking. Oh my God, this a new one. Listening to God and we blew some. My verse is filled with his verses, leading the way, walking into my purpose. I thought I died. Maybe I did. Died to myself because your boy had a lid. Scared of the thoughts I could do what I did, but God is my author. You see how we slid? You see how we slid? It is what it is. You got regrets. I built up my sets and repping is how we get big. You dig?
It's fire. It's fire. Like, look, she hit the wrong. Fire. Without the beat though, that's fire though.
Thank you.
That's what's definitely what's up.
And that's not shocking at all either. That was really like almost testimony.
That's what's up. That's definitely what's up. So we were talking about some things before the podcast. Before we were just kind of like setting up some things. How you were kind of led this year, to kind of. How about what this year was, how this year was kind of like setting up for you.
Yeah.
Let's kind of like dive into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our pastor gives us this, gives like the whole church this call to sow into this year. And so whatever it is that we desired to sow, it wasn't like a mandatory amount, but it was really like be intentional about why you're sowing. And the last couple of years of my life, I felt like they've been years of like transition. I really feel like I've come into myself more, understanding like what my call is and all those things. But I also felt like there were certain things that needed to be clarified. So, at the top of the year, put in the seed, and I sold in that this year, the seed that I was planting in the beginning of the year, I would see the fruits of it throughout the year. Like by the time the end of the year is, I'm going to see the fruit of like 2023 is about to be amazing for me.
Oh, wow.
So, and just having faith, like, okay. And honestly, at certain points, I think I totally forgot about it.
Okay.
Until stuff started happening. And I was like, oh, this isn't explainable, right? So if you were to like look, if we were just talking about musically, if you were to look at like my Instagram, you'd be like, oh, like who's this guy? He doesn't even have 1,000 followers, right? So I get to be a part of this competition at the Kingdom Choice Awards, which is a Christian hip hop showcase for Christian hip hop people, right? So I was like, I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so I'm in like this 16 bar competition, and I'm like kind of hype about it because a whole bunch of people are submitting, and it's like I'm one of the people chosen. Right. And I've been doing these things for kind of a long time, and sometimes I jump into them, sometimes I don't. I decided like, I'm just about to go into it. Somebody actually told me about it. Submit, and then I'm like, oh man, like I'm a part of this thing, and if I win this thing, I'll actually get a chance to perform at the award show. Right. And I mean, like Scooty Watt was there, Miles Minnick was there. Okay. Like, I mean, it was a bunch of like people that were like just buzzing that's there, and it's like you getting ready to share a stage with these people if you win. It didn't happen because it got rained out, but I got a chance to present an award. Okay. Which was like super cool. Because I still got a chance to like rub shoulders with people and network and be in the room. Right. And actually gave an award to Dat and the Menace movement for their mixtape. Wow. So like that was pretty cool. Then Dat puts up something about Flavor Fest is coming up and being in the 16 bar competition. I'm like down to the wire, like on my submission. Okay. I don't even know if it's going to get accepted. Like if I'm being 100% honest, I'm like, yo, they said it need to be in by 11:59. I posted this at 12:04. Hopefully they were talking about Pacific time, right? Because then I'll be able to get in. But make a long story short, I get an email I get a message from Rapzilla on my IG, and they're like, you're one of the finalists.
Oh, wow.
Out of 12 people.
That's crazy.
I'm like, what? So I'm like going off because I'm
Imagine how many people actually put in.
the actual post did that and made, I think it had over like 6,000 plays.
Whoa.
And I was looking at some of the people who's on that list. This is to make a long story short. When I look at the people who I'm on stage sharing time with in any of these circumstances,
Yeah.
they all are like 10K, 50K, 25K, like and above. I don't even have a K.
Wow.
So I know like this has got to be God opening up this door.
Right.
Right. And like maybe even just the payoff of you've been doing this consistently, like just your consistency. You can continue to have your hand to the plow. Because anybody who's doing like any Christian music for real, like it's a labor of love. You're not doing it because you're not doing it because you're getting anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
The money is not.
it's almost like if you wanted to take your money and put it into some black hole. It's almost the equivalent of that. It's like, oh, I want to make music for Jesus.
Right. Like, you want to donate this?
It's almost that.
No, great.
So, I mean, that's been a thing. There's like so many instances. I'm in a IT program that I don't have to pay any money for.
Wow.
Getting certifications.
Wow.
Like, there's so many things that are happening that I know it's a product of just being in alignment and like trusting God with like my life for real. And it's just been mind blowing.
That's got to be special, because you're trusting God, walking down the path that He's setting, right? You're like, okay, God, I'm a tithe. I'm gonna put this in, and He says, "What? Test me."
Yeah.
Says, "Test me."
Yeah.
Literally, what He says to do: test me. Test me with your tithes, for
Yep.
time, this, that, and don't rob me.
Yep.
Literally, He says, "Don't rob me."
Right.
That's what God says. And the moment you don't rob Him,
Yeah.
you start receiving these blessings.
And can I add something?
Go for it.
I think the important part is being intentional. Like, if you're a person that sows seeds all the time, like it almost can become like a ritual thing.
Right.
Where it's just like, oh, you know, it's the second Sunday or it's bi-weekly, and you're not saying what you want the seed to do.
Right.
And I think the key is like sometimes when you're putting those seeds in and understanding the ground that you're putting it in, like just it was perfect because the way it was open was whatever you want God to do, put it in the ground, you know, proverbial.
Right. Right.
and put a name on it.
Yeah.
It's like if you're a farmer, you're gonna plant tomatoes.
Yeah.
You know that you are expecting tomatoes to grow.
Right.
Now, if mushrooms grow from that space, you're like, how did these mushrooms get in here?
Right.
And most of the time when we're sowing seeds, we're not being intentional about what seed is it that I'm sowing and putting into the ground.
Right.
We're just doing it because we know that we're supposed to. We know we want to honor God,
Right,
so on
right.
and so forth, but we're not being even intentional
about what's happening. Right.
about what we want to see come back from it.
Man, and you know, I was telling you about this devotional. I touched on another piece of the devotional that I'm doing, right? And I'm gonna tell you guys about it. Like, you know, with negative thoughts, and when you just constantly are doing something, and it becomes mundane, or you know, you're just constantly just doing something to do it, like almost like work, right? You're just constantly doing something, and Jesus talks about this, right?
Yep.
Where you don't have to fight to keep positive thoughts around. I mean, you have to fight to keep positive thoughts around. Like, positive thoughts don't stick around. They don't. Like, if you ever noticed that, like a positive thought, something that you want to keep in your mindset that's good.
Yeah.
Right? Like, think about it right now. Something that you want to think about in a positive thought, it is fleeting. It just goes away.
Yeah.
Right? But a negative thought, you don't got to do nothing. That thing will stay in your mind, it'll stay in your spirit, it'll just linger. You don't have to do nothing. You didn't even invite it.
Right.
It's like that unwelcome guest is just hanging out It's like that gnat in your house. They came in with the fruit, and it's just like, yo, are you multiplying? Is this the same gnat?
Right.
Like, is this the same gnat just flying around? And it just continues to stay. You don't have to do nothing. Like, it just stays there, like grass, like weeds, right? It just continues to grow. You don't have to do nothing for weeds to grow. They just grow. They'll grow through cement. Like, how did you get through the cement?
Yeah.
Like, just
they got a different level of persistence.
Right. You know what I mean? But try to grow something like actual fruit. You can't just put watermelon seed or cantaloupe, or you have to tend to that. And that's like positive thoughts. You have to, or so when you're saying like tithe with intention, or that's with your money, your time, anything, when you're doing it, you have to do that with intention, right? You have to do that because, you know, with your thought, like you have to do that with the intention, because if you don't, and you have to constantly tend to it.
Yep.
You know, so if you get to this mundane space, it's not going to have the same effect that you're looking for.
Right.
You know, so you have to constantly tend. And like, again, y'all, you go look up the scriptures. I'm not making this up.
No, it's facts.
Go look at the scriptures. Jesus talks about pushing out those negative thoughts, like literally rebuking and kicking out negative thoughts, because they can affect your mind, your body, your spirit. I'm telling you, you've seen negative people all the time. Every time you talk to them, negative thing to say. Every time I talk to you, got something negative to say. And then they got something wrong with their body all the time, or they got something wrong with every time you talk, something negative is happening because you allow these negative things to just hang about, you know? The moment that you start rebuking those negative things, the enemy can't use those things against you. Y'all, I'm talking to y'all. Millennials right now. I'm talking to y'all. The moment you start rebuking negative thoughts, kick them out. Kick them out all the time. As soon as they pop in, the enemy cannot use them against you. It's that simple.
That's exactly why it talks about capturing imaginations, casting them down. Any imagination that exalts itself above the knowledge of God. So it's like, what did God say about this situation?
Right.
God didn't say that you were sick. But, you know what I mean? Can I testify a little bit real quick?
Please.
A couple years ago, well, actually more than a couple years ago, but was going through a divorce. And when it first happened, I thought, I was like, oh, I'm cool, I'm ready. You're never ready. There's nothing on this earth that is going to prepare you for that. But that's a whole nother subject. Anyway, so I literally started getting sick in my body.
Wow.
It was a point where I was going to the hospital probably on a weekly to bi-weekly basis. And the doctors could not find anything wrong.
Wow.
They were like, oh, we think it's a gluten allergy. Oh, we think it's this. Oh, we think it's this.
Wow.
Right? Come to find out, when they finally gave me a diagnosis, it was like, I'm trying to remember what it's called. But it was a GI thing, a gut thing, a gut issue. I want y'all to hear this because I want you to see how like this negative stuff actually takes root in your body. Like, not joking. Like, it really does. And when I looked it up to see what causes it, it said that one of the causes was if you have a low quality of life. And they said, when I looked at what's actually happening in my body, what was happening in my body was my intestines were constantly working as if there was something to digest in it, but that when it was nothing there, it was still doing all of the processing like it was. So like, imagine what kind of toll that's doing on your body. And I'm just going to talk about it natural, and then I'm going to show you the spiritual application of it. Naturally, you know how much like your body has to do to break down food? Now imagine it's doing it and there's no real food there.
Nothing in there.
Imagine how drained your body is.
Right.
It would be days where literally I would be up for like 2 hours and be like, I got to go lay down.
Wow.
Like it was nuts. So the spiritual part of that is what I started recognizing is a lot of the things that was going on was fear of like, what are people going to say? How are people going to think? How are they going to perceive this circumstance? Who am I letting down? All these things that they were not physically in my space. Right? Wow. Am I ever going to get here again? It was all of these thoughts that didn't really have any tangible, they weren't here.
That was all spiritual.
It was all spiritual.
Wow.
And it was literally like, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, Jesus, we got some work to do.
Right.
So, make a long story short, they like gave me medicine and everything. And I was just like, look, just talking to God about it, like I'm not getting ready to be taking this for the rest of my life. Like that's not what you have for me. Right. And me doing that research and understanding what was happening from on a natural and spiritual level helped. So I just attacked it naturally and prayed.
Right.
So I did all the things, all the like natural things that they tell you to do. I did all of them and just prayed and prayed and prayed. And I'm saying all that to say, I haven't taken that medication since like probably the beginning of like 2019.
Praise God.
You know what I'm saying? Like no issue. Like literally no issue. And it goes exactly to what you were saying in terms of like your thought process. When I just like started surrendering all that stuff to Jesus, like for real surrendering it to him.
Right.
Like crying my eyes out, like feeling all the feelings of being lonely and isolation and all of those things, and really just allowing him to reshape like your worth. Because like one of the things that happens and what happened for me at that time is I lost a whole bunch of titles around the same time.
Oh, wow.
So imagine, like, even if you're just going through a divorce, let's say you have kids. I didn't have kids, or I still don't have kids, but let's say you're going through a divorce and you're a parent.
Right.
So now you're not just losing, like, the title of, like, a husband.
Yeah.
Like, now it's like you're not even in the home.
What is the new family dynamic?
Right. What about this whole family that you've now, like, covenanted with?
Right.
All of these relationships are no longer, like you lose so much. And I was like a teacher, a pastor, I was a whole bunch of stuff. And I lost all that stuff over the course of like maybe 6 months to a year.
Wow.
So you have to, when God is telling us like, even like, don't worry about tomorrow. For today got enough trouble for it in and of itself. Like, all this new age stuff that people are talking about, Jesus is like the author of it.
Yeah.
Be anxious for nothing. Like all this mindfulness and being in the moment, all this stuff is like, this is in the Bible. And it's just being rebranded as something new. And I think what my heart is that if we can pull these things back to the source, right? Then people can really start to see and live for God the way they're supposed to.
Absolutely.
Because they're devoting themselves to all these other things. And it's really because they want access to power.
Right.
I don't think we recognize the disservice that we're doing by trying to like minimize and like the power that's really in Jesus. Because we talk about it, but we're giving like the cute sayings and slogans and stuff about it, but are we giving somebody something that when the rubber really hits the road, are they going to be able to carry through? Because life is going to bring, like life is going to life.
Life is going to,
you know what I'm saying?
Life is going to life.
And if nobody knows it more than probably the millennials.
Right. All the anxiety, the fear, the sadness, the loneliness, all of these things. And people don't realize that life for them is on the other side of those emotions, because that's not what God is intending for you. Because none of those things are of God.
No.
Not a single one of them.
Now they can be used.
They can be used, like you said, like your testimony.
Because, and this is the beauty, is really that whole thing about all things working together
Right.
for the good
That's
of
right.
those who love God and are called according to his purpose.
There you go.
So because you've been called, which means that you were predestined and God already got his mark on you and he already knows what he wants to do with you. Because of that, even when bad things happen, if I can learn when bad things happen to lean on Jesus and trust Jesus when the bad things happen,
There you go.
I'll get a chance to see the good things, the all things working together. But if what happens with most of us in the millennial generation is when bad things happen, we immediately get upset at God and we don't stay through the process.
Not at all.
We leave, we find some alternative means to solve the problem.
We go to pills, to the physical. We go to the body first. We go to the body first. And the body is always going to lead you in a direction of, like the flesh is going to lead you in the wrong direction. It's going to lead you to hedonism, and it's going to lead you to pleasure. It's going to lead you the wrong direction.
You can't expect, it's like what we were talking about earlier. If I put a tomato seed in the ground, I shouldn't expect a mushroom.
Right.
It's the same thing. If I am dedicated or I'm getting ready to solve a problem in a fleshly way, in a natural way, what I am asking for is a natural response. I'm asking for a natural result of that.
Yeah.
Right? But if I understand that the spiritual realm is more real than this natural realm, and that, like,
And it's in control.
you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. And to the devotional, man, to this credit, it led me to this other piece where we end up looking at other people during the process. So we end up looking at, a big culprit, for us millennials. Me being an elder millennial, I like to point out this. Okay, I was around before the internet. I won't actually give out my age because, somebody, my wife, will begin harping on it, But I was around before the internet.
But God.
I was around for the birth of all the socials. So I remember life before the socials. I remember what it was like to, where's everybody at? I don't know. We'll walk around and we'll find out where all the bikes are.
Yeah.
I remember what it was to go outside and play and not be afraid to get kidnapped. I remember what that was like. Right? I'm an elder millennial. Okay? Looking up your friend's phone number in the phone book, or just remembering what their phone number is.
I can't remember nobody's number. It's
Right.
horrible.
I remember what life was like before losing your phone was like, it wasn't losing your life.
Right.
And nowadays, right, when you go looking for your friends, everything else, where do you go? Right to the phone, right to the socials, right?
Right.
Back then, you couldn't lie to your friends. You show up in the clothes. Hey, I know where you bought your shirt. I know where you got your clothes from.
Talk about it.
Right. I know where you were because I could go find you. Right. We all rolled up together. Now you post the vacations. Man, that vacation probably like 3 years old. Right. Now you're comparing your lawn. Right. It's a little. You said the grass is greener, right? The grass is greener on the other side. We've heard that, right? A lot of us don't realize that's actually scripture, right? The grass is greener on the other side. Don't we always thinking that, right? But that's actually biblical, right? The rest of that goes, if you think your neighbor's grass is greener, water your own grass. Meaning, mind your business. Water your own grass. Don't worry about their grass, because what ends up happening when you Facebook and Instagram, what it has done to us as millennials, and I have watched it happen, right? Instead of us congratulating somebody when they're going on vacations, right? Instead of when somebody has gotten a whole bunch of clothes or gotten a whole bunch of money, even though they probably hadn't, because they're lying, because social media allows you to live a life that's not accurate.
Talk about it.
Okay, there's a lot of stunting that happens that if you actually ran up on somebody, like, you ain't living that life, right? But the reality is, and I ain't hating, I'm just telling you what it is, okay? I'm just telling you what it is. I'm not hating. I congratulate everybody who is living the life that they actually live in. I'm just telling you what it is. Social media allows you to live a life that's not actually accurate. I've seen people, listen, if I see you in the store and I don't say hello, it's not because I'm being rude. Please come up and say hello to me. It's probably because I may not recognize you, because every picture that you have posted has a filter on it.
Shots have been fired.
I'm just
Somebody somewhere. Get him a medic. No, but
I'm just saying.
That's real.
I've seen some people I'm just saying, like, we don't have hearts underneath our eyes. We don't have anime eyes. We don't have, I'm just saying. Like, these filters out here got people out here that are threes thinking they tens. I'm just saying, millennials.
And all y'all doing the same makeup tutorial, but I'll leave that where it is.
Millennials. Listen to me. If the scripture says this, right? If the grass is, let me get myself together. Let me get my thought together, because it's coming in so fast.
He's on fire.
If the grass, worry about your own grass. Water your own grass. Water your own grass. Okay? That's what the scripture says. Water your own grass, and you will be blessed.
And I think what's also something to know about that verse is, it's like, okay, if you're looking at someone else's grass, go and work on your own.
Yep.
Is actually, you can use someone else's, what's happening in someone else's grass, if you start doing the work, to now become almost even a benchmark. To like, no, not a benchmark. Let me take that word out. But more to inspire what can happen if I just focus on doing what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
One of the biggest things for me was I had to learn, I got to do this. Kobe Bryant dies. Kobe's one of my favorite players of all time. And I'm listening to people doing these like top 5, top 10 rankings. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Everyone's like, okay, Kobe Bryant is the closest thing to Michael Jordan. And I'm not going to try to stay on this too long, but I just need to prove a point.
Now let's go for it.
If Michael Jordan is the GOAT, right? And people can then say that Kobe Bryant is the closest thing to Mike, then almost by default, Kobe should be in someone's top 3, if not number 2.
Fair.
Right?
Fair.
So what people started saying, the analysts started saying, was that it actually hurt Kobe being so much like Mike. Because it's like, you're like a copy of the
original thing.
The original thing. So you actually lose points trying to be in someone else's shoes.
You're never coming out of that shadow.
Right. And the point of this is, if I just try to make my grass look like my neighbor's grass, then I won't get the response that I'm supposed to. I won't get the appreciation. I won't get the fulfillment that I'm supposed to, because that's my neighbor's grass.
There you go.
But if I work on my grass and figure out, like, what am I supposed to do? How is this grass supposed to look for me? Guess what it does? It then produces what it's supposed to look like for me, my version of that. And now I am doing purposeful work.
Right. And God gets to bless you the way he wants to bless you.
It is.
Because he has different things in store for you. Everybody ain't going to get the same things.
Talk about it.
And then you got to talk about the other side of it. Here's the other side of it, people. America, here's the other side.
He just Bernie Mac, y'all.
I did. The other side of it is, when you're looking at it, Instagram will make you jealous.
Covetous.
There it is. There it is. And that's one of the Big 10.
Yep.
That's one of the Big 10.
Yep.
Once you get to the Big 10, you might as well start hitting off the other 9. Like, let's just go round robin. You know what I mean? Hey, not really. Don't do that. Because some of them are real bad. But I'm just saying, like, don't do that. But it allows the enemy to start putting on these strongholds to kind of link you down and hold you down. Because now if you being in this jealous mindset, you being in this coveted state, right? You blind. You're stuck. You wondering, why can't I get this job? Why am I always the one being held back? I've seen 5 people at my job get promoted, but not me. 5. Oh, I'm about to get somebody in the comments now. Somebody about to DM. Don't DM me. Don't at me. Don't talk to me. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about it. Well, maybe you could talk to me. We'll talk about it.
I hope that we can get all of Chrissy's facial expressions as like meme inserts.
Oh my God.
So that y'all could see, because there's a lot happening.
But I'm just trying to speak truth. I'm just trying to speak truth, because I mean, there's some people out there that's saying that, you know, and they don't understand why.
Yeah.
Why do I keep getting passed up? Why are you worried about what they doing? Why aren't you worried about what you're doing? Their business is doing better than mine. I'm not successful because they not doing it. They doing it. They got nothing. It has nothing to do with them.
And just to add, since we all here, I think we talked about this before in another podcast, but especially being in video production for social media content, different commercial content online, all of it is fake. It's cultivated. It's meant to specifically draw you in. Targeted for you.
The algorithm.
It's targeted. They have experts come in to create a story that is not real to lure you in. It's fake. And then to touch on the coveting, when you said, you know, you have your grass, right? And if you're looking at somebody else's grass, come back and water yours. That's all a conversation of stewardship. That's all it is. Is you're looking at this, one, it may not even be real, especially if you saw it on social media. And 2, why don't you worry about what God has given you? Why don't you steward what God has given you right now?
And look, now I'm really about to make some people mad.
Oh, look at my mic there.
I'm about to make some people mad. And as a millennial leader,
Okay.
I want you to touch on this.
He wants me to make people mad with him.
I want you to touch on this state, because you have a lot of access to millennials as a millennial leader, right? So I wanted to touch on this, but people who look like me, why do you hate other people so much when they are successful? I'm just curious. Why is there not a congratulation? I mean, some folks, there's some congratulations. But I've noticed that when somebody's doing well, there's just a level of hate. I'm not going to support them. I'm not going to go out there. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Why? The black dollar does not circulate in the black community like it should. It's starting to get better.
It is.
It's starting to get better. It's starting to get recognized. But it is nowhere near where it should be. People who look like me water the grass. Steward within your own community.
That's a word.
Because other folks who do not look like us have figured this out a long time ago.
These are facts. You want me to talk to that?
Just a little, you know.
I think what it really is, and I talk about it a lot actually, is that most people are operating from a deficit mindset. If I believe that the pie is only this big, and that I'm fighting someone else for a piece of it, then it's going to make me want to hoard it as much and like be defensive and do all these things.
Now we're talking about talents.
Right. Now, what I want you to understand is that's not godly. Like, that's not godly. Because we were just talking about our own grass and stewardship and all of those things. The reason why it's not godly is because what you are essentially saying is someone else's portion, a part of someone else's portion is my portion. And if I put into their portion, then I'll be taking from my portion. You follow what I'm saying?
I do.
So if you're in that deficit mindset, you're just trying to make sure that no one does better than you. But if you're, first of all, that's not kingdom. If you just look at the church of Acts and look at how they did things, look at Jesus and the disciples and look at how they did things. Give me what you have, I'm gonna multiply it. Right?
Never once did Jesus say, give it to me, I'm going to divide it up.
Right.
He never say that.
The principle of tithing has nothing to do with division.
Not at all.
Yo, and this actually is not like a New Testament thing. Like, you go back to the Old Testament. The reason why they were tithing, well, not the reason, but one of the blessings of the tithe in the Old Testament was that when they brought their 10%, after the Levites, the priesthood could not do anything but serve God. They had to officiate the services. So they weren't like, they didn't have their own like farms and things like that. They were 100% reliant on what the people brought. The same way that when Paul is talking about like sowing into those who are like teaching you, it's like, because our whole life is really a sacrifice so that you can grow. And if I understand that me investing, because anytime you're doing anything to support anybody, even if you need the thing, even if I need the service, right? We needed these mics and this thing, right? But so we had to purchase it, but guess what it was also? An investment. You need food, but it's also an investment in your health.
Absolutely.
So anything that I purchase as a good or a service, it's also an investment. Right. And then when I start recognizing that whatever it is that I'm purchasing, I'm investing like not only into that person, but I'm investing into myself. Because it's a simple principle. If I have a business and I want my business to thrive, the simple principle is I need customers. Why would I not help another business who needs a customer? Look, it's the golden rule. Yeah. Do unto others. Why would I not invest?
Right.
Because if I understand the larger principle is that I want someone to see what I'm doing and do the same thing. And if I feel like I'm fighting for someone else's portion, I'm looking at it wrong, because I'm saying that I don't have my own portion allotted for me by God. So whatever it is that I have, like, it's not even really mine.
It's not.
Right? So I could try to hoard onto it and do all these things, these weird things.
Right.
But that's not the principle. Like you said earlier, the Bible, God says, test me. Test me in your giving. Test me in it. See, won't I do it? See, won't I pour out a blessing that you don't even have room enough to receive?
Right.
But I'm looking at somebody else's, same thing. If I'm looking at somebody else's relationship on Instagram and I think that that's the ideal relationship, here's the reality. God didn't even call you to that. That's between those people that you're looking at. You're building your whole relationship around what you see in somebody else's highlight reel. You don't know what's going on. And what if God wants more for you? What if he wants your relationship to be, what if their ceiling is your floor? But you are trying to make your whole thing.
Say that again.
What if their ceiling is your floor, but you are trying to build on what they have and trying to get there? You are missing out on what God called. This is why it is important to understand the call of God on your life, envision of God on your life. And you have to be able to steward something. Because if you are not stewarding what God has given you, you are missing out on all the things. You're missing out on your portion. And you're less worried, I promise. You are less worried about other people's portion when you are focused on yours.
Absolutely. Well, Ann, I gotta say, it has been a pleasure talking with you.
Absolutely.
Today. You are full of surprises, man. The Spirit has led us today.
Box.
Look, man, the Spirit has led us today because we went some places.
We definitely did.
We went some places.
This was good.
Yeah.
This blessed me.
Oh, well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Blessed me.
Yeah, man.
It did. Especially a lot of things you talked about, man. Yeah. It took us some places. Mm-hmm. I know some people were definitely blessed by them bars you spit. I know they was. I know.
How we just got blessed today.
Yes. This was a blessing. Mm-hmm. This was definitely a blessing. Mm-hmm. And.
Talk about it.
This is a blessing. And. I know some people would like to find you by your rap name. Mm-hmm. What is it?
It's High Def Tone.
High Def Tone. And where can they find High Def Tone's music?
They can find it everywhere you listen to music. So whether you are an Apple Music person or a Tidal person or Amazon person or a Spotify person, you can play those things there.
Okay. All right. How many tracks you got?
So there's an album.
Okay.
There's an EP.
Okay.
And they're pretty solid. The people who hear it, let me say this. I might not have a lot of people following, but I have consistent listenership. I don't know if I said that right. Listenership. I have consistent listenership. Every month there's like numbers coming in. And that for me is a little bit more, it means a little bit more than like having a million people following and nobody engaging.
Hey.
Because then it's just a show.
Right.
But I think what people get from the music is they actually get things that are going to help them.
Yeah.
I don't think the music's for everyone. Let me say that.
Right.
But I think the people who are in certain stages of their life, like if you appreciated this conversation, you would appreciate the music.
Absolutely.
That part. Because it's mature, but it's also put in a way like I'm actually kind of proud of the way God has allowed me to be able to do it, to be able to make it still catchy and you could bop to it. I was getting ready to say something. I'm not going to do it. I think the Holy Spirit just was like, I'm going to arrest your tongue. Because he's good.
Man. Y'all, I just want to let y'all know, I forgive my wife for firing me. I forgive her. Okay? And if y'all enjoyed this episode, please put in the comments if y'all want us to start working together in tandem, because that could be worked out. Say, we want more unity. Put unity in the comments. Unity.
One in the comments. One flesh.
One flesh. There you go. Let her know, y'all.
I'm going to put it in the comments.
I appreciate it. Mm-hmm. I have answers for
it. Ann, you are no help.
I want y'all to be united. That's the ultimate help.
That is it. Did we pour sand together? Oh my God. We pour sand, and we have witnesses. Pastor Mitch was there.
You can't find that, which sand was yours. And
I love y'all. I really am not coming back on here for real.
But my mother was there. Your mother was there. Everybody was there except my father. That's a whole nother topic. We'll get into that. We'll get into that another day.
my name is High Def Tone. You can call me HD if you want. If you lend to me your ears, I'll find your way to your heart. And I have this little dollar store chain because rappers wear chains, right? Rappers wear chains. And this is actually like a mockery.
I actually like the chain.
Yeah.
I actually like it. I saw it.
I think it goes hard.
I was like, that's cool.
It's like a little sun with a little smiley face on it.
Right.
And people be like, yo, what you doing with that? And I just be like, it's my chain, dog.
You're right. I liked it. Yeah. Hey, so do you have any merch from your company that you want to give the people?
Listen, I'm going to create a coupon code.
Ooh.
So that people can save some money.
People love coupons.
They love them. And I'm gonna make sure y'all save some real money. Probably something like $10, $15 off for the store or something like that.
That's real money. Mm-hmm. I'm down.
Maybe some select things. And we'll put it in the give you a little overlay.
Is it gonna go here?
I don't know where it's gonna go.
It's gonna go here.
It might go here.
Here.
It might swing. It might
Back
be
here?
right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like swing. With that sound effect. It got it swing. Yeah, but the point of it, like this hoodie is this whole like save thing.
We're working out. There we go.
It is.
Yeah. She likes it. Anywho, that's the podcast, y'all. Peace. We'll see you next time. All right.
Just spread the good news about it. Ooh, this the jam. Ooh, this the jam. Ooh, this the jam.